I was talking to my neighbor, Margaret, the other day. She's 82, sharp as a tack, and still tends to her garden every morning. I asked her, "Margaret, what's your secret? You've got more energy than most people half your age." She just smiled and said, "Oh, it's not about running marathons or lifting weights. It's the little things, the ones nobody talks about." And that got me thinking. So many of us believe that if we want to live a long, healthy life, we have to push ourselves harder, exercise more, eat less, do more. But what if I told you that living to 100 isn't about how much you exercise? In fact, some of the healthiest, longest living people in the world don't even go to the gym. So today, let's talk about what really matters when it comes to living a long, vibrant life. These aren't complicated secrets or expensive treatments. They're simple, everyday habits that anyone can start right now. And the best part? They don't require a lot of effort, just a little bit of intention. Now, let's start with the first habit, and this one might surprise you. It's not about what you do, but how you do it. You see, one of the biggest keys to longevity isn't just moving your body, it's moving it mindfully. Think about it. Have you ever seen those videos of people in their 90s and 100s who still dance, garden, or take leisurely walks? They're not sprinting or lifting heavy weights, they're simply staying active in ways that feel good. That's because gentle, consistent movement, like walking, stretching, or even just puttering around the house, keeps your joints flexible, your heart strong, and your mood lifted. And here's the thing, it's not about how much you move, but how often. A short walk after dinner, a few stretches in the morning, or even just standing up and moving around every hour can make a world of difference. Now, the second habit is even simpler, and it's something we often overlook as we get older. It's about connection. You've probably heard that staying social is important, but did you know that strong relationships can actually add years to your life? Studies of centenarians, people who've lived to 100 and beyond, show that they often have deep, meaningful connections with family, friends, or their community. It doesn't have to be a big social circle, just a few people who truly matter. A weekly phone call with a grandchild, a coffee date with an old friend, or even a friendly chat with your mail carrier can keep your spirits high and your mind sharp. Because here's the truth, loneliness can be just as harmful as smoking or poor diet. But the good news? A little bit of connection goes a long way. Now, before we move on, let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to have a natural glow, no matter their age? That brings us to our third habit, and it's all about joy. Laughter, hobbies, and a sense of purpose aren't just nice to have, they're essential for a long, healthy life. Think about the things that make you light up inside. Maybe it's painting, listening to music, playing with your grandkids, or even just watching the birds outside your window. Those moments of pure happiness? They're not just fleeting pleasures, they're fuel for your body and soul. Stress and worry can wear us down over time, but joy? It heals, it energizes, and it keeps us young at heart. So, let's take a moment to think about how we can bring more of that into our days. Maybe it's picking up an old hobby you've set aside, or maybe it's simply taking a few minutes each day to savor the small things, a cup of tea, a good book, or the sound of rain on the roof. Now, we've covered 3 powerful habits so far: mindful movement, meaningful connection, and daily joy. But there's more to explore, and the next ones might just change the way you think about aging altogether. So, let's keep going, because the best is yet to come. You know, when I was growing up, my grandmother had this saying she'd repeat all the time: it's not the years in your life, but the life in your years. And as a kid, I didn't really get it, but now I understand exactly what she meant. Living a long life isn't just about adding more candles to the birthday cake. It's about filling those years with vitality, feeling good, staying sharp, and waking up each day with a sense of purpose. So, let's talk about the next habit, and this one is so simple, yet so powerful. It's about how you eat, not just what you eat. Now, I'm sure you've heard all about superfoods and diets that promise to add years to your life. But here's what the world's longest living people have in common: they don't count calories or obsess over protein shakes. Instead, they eat slowly, they eat with others, and they stop when they're almost full, not stuffed. Think about it. When was the last time you sat down for a meal without distractions, really tasting each bite? In places like Okinawa, Japan, where people regularly live past 100, they practice something called hara-hachibu, which means eating until you're 80% full. It's not about deprivation, it's about listening to your body. And here's the beautiful part: when you slow down and savor your food, you digest better, you enjoy it more, and you naturally avoid overeating. So, next time you sit down for dinner, try this: take smaller bites, put your fork down between bites, and really focus on the flavors. You might be surprised at how satisfying a meal can be when you're truly present for it. Now, let's move on to the fifth habit, and this one is all about rest. Not just sleep, though that's important too, but real, deep recovery. Here's something you might not expect: many centenarians take naps. Not long, lazy ones that leave you groggy, just short, refreshing breaks in the day. In cultures like the Mediterranean, the siesta is a cherished tradition. And science backs it up: a 20 to 30-minute nap can boost memory, lower stress, and even reduce the risk of heart disease. But rest isn't just about closing your eyes. It's also about giving your mind a break from the constant noise of the world. That might mean sitting quietly with a cup of tea, listening to soft music, or even just gazing out the window for a few minutes. Our bodies aren't designed to go non-stop, especially as we get older. So, if you've ever felt guilty for doing nothing, let this be your permission slip: rest isn't laziness. It's renewal. And that brings us to the sixth habit, one that might surprise you. It's about curiosity. Have you ever noticed how people who live the longest often have a childlike sense of wonder? They're always learning, always asking questions, always trying something new. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, reading about a different culture, or even just tackling a crossword puzzle, keeping your brain engaged is like giving it a daily workout. My friend Harold, who just turned 94, started learning how to paint at 85. Now, he's not Picasso, but that's not the point. The joy he gets from mixing colors, the focus it takes to steady his brush, the pride when he shows off his latest piece, all of that keeps his mind sharp and his spirit young. You don't have to become an expert at something new. The magic is in the trying. So, what's something you've always wanted to learn? Maybe it's playing an instrument, gardening, or even just figuring out how to use that smartphone your grandkids gave you. Whatever it is, let yourself be a beginner again. Now, we've covered some truly life-changing habits: mindful eating, the power of rest, and staying curious. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, and it might be the most important of all. So, let's keep going, because this last habit could be the key to unlocking a life that's not just long, but truly rich in every way. You know, there's a story I love about a man named Walter Brenning, who lived to be 114 years old. When people asked him his secret, he'd always say the same thing: embrace change. Now, think about that for a moment. Here was a man born in 1896 who lived through 2 world wars, the rise of cars, airplanes, television, the internet, and his advice wasn't about eating some special berry or doing an hour of yoga every morning. It was about attitude. And that brings us to our final habit, the one that ties everything together. It's about letting go. Now, I don't mean giving up or resigning yourself to aging. I mean letting go of the things that no longer serve you: worry, grudges, the idea that life should look a certain way after 60. The healthiest, happiest centenarians share this incredible ability to adapt. They don't waste energy fighting what they can't control. Instead, they focus on what they can influence: their daily habits, their mindset, the way they choose to see the world. Think about it. How much time do we spend stressing over things we can't change? The weather, traffic, aches and pains that come with age. But what if we took all that mental energy and poured it into something better, like gratitude? Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly have stronger immune systems, lower blood pressure, and even better sleep. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just taking a moment each morning to name 3 things you're thankful for: the smell of coffee, a phone call from a friend, the way sunlight comes through your window, can shift your entire outlook. Now, let's bring this all together. We've talked about moving mindfully, nurturing connections, finding daily joy, eating with intention, resting deeply, staying curious, and embracing change with gratitude. These aren't drastic overhauls, they're gentle adjustments to how you already live. And here's the beautiful truth, you don't have to do them all perfectly. Even choosing one to focus on can start changing your life today. I want you to imagine something with me. Picture yourself at 100 years old, not frail or fading, but vibrant. You're sitting on a porch somewhere, surrounded by people you love, sharing stories. Someone asks you, "What's your secret?" What do you want that answer to be? Maybe it's, "I never stopped learning," or "I made time for what mattered." The incredible thing is, that future is being shaped by the choices you make right now. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one habit from today that resonates with you, just one, and try it for the next week. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk after breakfast, calling an old friend, or writing down something you're grateful for each night. Small steps lead to big changes. And I'd love to hear from you. What's the one thing you're going to try? Share it in the comments below. Your idea might inspire someone else to take that first step too. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button. It helps others find this conversation. And if you're not subscribed yet, well, we've got plenty more of these chats ahead. Remember, living to 100 isn't about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. And you've got so much good life ahead. Here's to making each day count. Until next time, my friend, keep shining.